In the name of the one holy and living God. Welcome. It's 1870, New York, and a priest has just turned down the request to hold a funeral. You see, the person who has died, he's a member of a group that's considered social outcasts. So the priest says to the mourners, you might want to try that little church around the corner. They might do that sort of thing. So they went to the little church around the corner, and they were welcomed by Dr. Reverend Houghton. You see, he had this vision when he set up his church in 1843 in New York that he would embrace all. And he said, we would definitely want to hold a burial for your friend. We will take care of him. You see, the problem with their friend was George Holland was an actor. Don't we get it mixed up? But George Houghton lived for us. This scripture that Wanda just read to us, she read this scripture where Jesus is saying to his apostles, remember, when someone's welcoming you, they're welcoming me and the God in me. Reverend Houghton lived that. And when I read that scripture, I thought, oh my goodness, welcoming each other is welcoming God? How do I get my head around that? So I looked at the Gospels of Mark and Luke, and what they said is almost verbatim, it's almost word for word. And then I went to John. I like John. John's interesting. He always has his own way of putting things, and I will mess it up if I don't read it to you. So John wrote, and this is at the Last Supper, Jesus is saying to his apostles, I am in my Father, you are in me, and I am in you. Oh my goodness. So I thought about that, and I called a friend of mine who's a retired professor of world religions, and I asked her, how widespread is this belief that the divine is in us? And the bottom line was, it's very widespread. I have a little handout if any of you are interested when you leave today on Eastern religions that Suzanne wrote up for me, if that's of interest to you. So the divine is in us. And Jesus in chapter 10, that Matthew is talking to us about today, he's giving his people, it's like an operations manual for being out in the field. And when he talks about welcoming, I had to look up the word because I want to know in Greek, okay, what does that mean? And it means accept. How powerful is it to feel accepted? I was ushering a funeral, my first funeral actually, and I had no clue how ushering a funeral was going to be any different from ushering a service. So I was busy trying to be busy. Do you know what that's like? I think I'm being productive. I think. And I noticed a man walk into our church, and he didn't kind of look like the rest of the mourners. I don't know, I was guessing it might have been a war vet. He had trouble walking. He might have had a prosthetic limb. And as he went into the church, I looked at him and I thought, wow, it looks like he's really had to struggle. I didn't think anything else about it. About 10 minutes after the funeral started, he came rushing out of the church to the back where I was sitting, and he looked really distraught. So I jumped up and I went over to him and I said, are you okay? And he said, I just wanted to visit your church. I've crashed a funeral. And this dear man started to cry. He was so embarrassed. So I hugged him and I said, you're welcome. You're welcome to stay. You're welcome to come back. We have 2 services tomorrow. He came back. And the following Sunday, he came back. So I got thinking about how powerful it is to welcome another. And I always like to figure out the how. So how do we live the scripture? Because the scripture isn't information. If it's information, why are we here? It's about transformation, right? It's about growing. So as I'm reflecting on this, how do we live this welcoming of all in our lives? I read this information from an artist. She was also actually a hermit at the time she wrote this. Her name is Susan Mongan. And Susan wrote, "May my heart be open to welcoming others as Christ." I thought, that's it. That's my prayer. May my heart be open. And then she went on to write, "This is not easy." And I thought, no, it's not. She said, "We get pretty cluttered inside." She said, "In fact, there's a lot between me and Christ and me." Think about it. We carry around a lot of stuff. We carry around judgments, fears. We carry around resentments, hurts. Is this sounding normal to anybody? Of course we do. So we've got to unclutter our hearts to make space for God in us, welcome God in us, to welcome God in others. Doesn't that make sense? If we're just so busy carrying around stuff, how can we be present to God in another? So I got thinking, have you ever cleaned out or decluttered something in your house? Or shed? Or even like a drawer? Now, how did you feel right after you did that? Doesn't that feel nice? Now, unless you're really intentional about it, does it stay that way? No! And I think that's a great analogy for our spiritual hearts. Unless we are intentional about decluttering, letting go, let go of the hurt, let go of the pain, let go of that stuff, how can we have space for God in us? And so that's what I think the how is. I think the how is making space. So as I was thinking about that, I was reading Richard Rohr, he's a Franciscan priest, and he wrote this. And I thought, this is how we start. He wrote, "Many people can't see their own belovedness." Do you ever wake up someday and you don't think you're beloved? You can't see your own belovedness? And he said, if we can't honor the indwelling presence of the Spirit in ourselves, how are we going to see it in anybody else? And that makes sense to me, because when we read the New Testament, when we read the Gospels, when we read about the relationship between God the Creator and God the Son, what's that relationship about? You are my beloved, right? Well, as soon as we get past the Gospels, we get into Acts and the rest of the New Testament, guess what? Everybody's calling everybody beloved. They got it. Paul says it, James, John, they all refer to one another as the beloved. They understood that. So I thought that's where we begin, this overwhelming job of making space in our hearts and all that clutter, is we stop and remember we are beloved by God. That's actually a gift I want to give you that someone gave me. I was invited to the synod at a Lutheran conference. We had 4 days. Every general session we had a professional clergy person preach. And one stood out above all else for me. I'll never forget her. So it felt like a gift. She came to the center of the stage, and there's hundreds of us in the room, and she looked around and she said, "You are beloved by God." And then she invited us to turn to someone beside us and tell that person how you know you're beloved by God. And what I realized is that's the simple practice we can do on a daily basis. We can wake up. As soon after we wake up, all we need to do is say to ourselves, how do I know I'm beloved by God today? Now, some days, you might find it's a slow start. When I have those days, I say, I'm here. But the reality is, what's interesting? I can't even get 10 seconds into answering this question, and I feel gratitude. And you know what gratitude does? I think it makes space in our heart. Because I think it softens the edges. I think it grinds down the kind of the rough points. As soon as we start feeling that gratitude, we start making space. And in that space, God can love us. And we can love others. So that's my invitation to you. Let's end together by going back to the little church around the corner. This little church is the Episcopal Church of the Transfiguration. It's in Manhattan. And Dr. made space in his heart by embracing all races, all classes. Do you know he saved the lives of more people than we could ever count because he sheltered runaway slaves during the Underground Railroad. He didn't just bury people from the theatrical community. In fact, when it's a guild, it's called the Episcopal Actors Guild. When that was established and they were looking for national headquarters in the U.S., guess where they went? A little church around the corner. So we have the ability to transform not just ourselves by remembering we're beloved by God, but by just living that knowledge day to day, we can transform this world.